welcome everyone. Hi Mari, welcome. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, lovely. Nice to share perspectives from different sides of the world. Hi Heather, it is, I think, it is starting to be a little bit like that, so might as well get comfortable. Thank you. Hi Pamela, good morning. Welcome. Welcome everyone, welcome. Frogs are singing here, weather is warming up. Yes, nice. Good, good, good. How else are we spending time during this phase of, it's called a shift or like something along those lines, like people feel a little bit of a, which is in good measure. I think people start to see that their lives start to change a little bit during this time. The seasons we talk about are interesting in itself, and a lot of cultures, uh, lot of traditions have different things to mark these occasions. So, yeah, I think if there's something you are doing, please feel free to share. In traditional Indian Kerala culture, uh, it's the start of a new year today. So, happy Vishu to all of them, all of you. Welcome to our daily practice. It's called New Year. So, is a wish for new things in life and start off uh, start off in a good note with positive intent, with kindness, with support, with everything. Happy New Year. Yeah, exactly. And that's what's happening all over Kerala in India. So, yeah, this is the time of year where there's a lot of changes, shall I say, and it goes understated. So, keeping with that theme of change and transformation, I invite you all to daily practice with me. Nikhil, thank you for being here. Always grateful, always grateful to hold the space, always grateful to share the things that have helped me with everyone. So, keeping with this same theme of change and transformation, what I'm going to be doing going forward, slightly different format. We come here on a daily practice. We come here and do some little bit of practice, and then we go away. Uh, Although that is amazing, and I think we need to keep that going. What we be doing going forward is a little bit more of a transformation aspect as well. So we talked about transformation for a while now, and in these sessions I would like to start to now include a bit of conversation-ish, bit more intrigue, bit more understanding, bit more learning, bit more uh, knowing, sharing. So I want to bring perspectives, ideas, thoughts, in a way in which can be easily digestible and understandable, and also something to think about while we do our daily practice. So the format I think I'm proposing is more, we will be talking a little bit about whatever the topic of the day is, and then we'll do a practice at the end. It'll be around similar time, but I think it's important to associate some learnings and in transformation, in changes, in our own beliefs, in understanding, and we challenge ourselves, learn and grow. So that's the idea of these sessions going forward. So welcome to Daily Practice with Nikhil. Thank you. Thank you for being here. So let us begin. So today let's talk about one of the biggest piece of advice that floats around in all of self-help and career advice and in motivational work is, and even in casual conversations you might have with anyone around you, the conversation we're talking about is find your passion. Right, it sounds amazing, finding your passion, like there is one magical thing out there perfectly suited to you, and if you just find it, your life will be awesome. It will click into place. Work won't feel like work. You leap out of bed every morning. Maybe birds will sing to you at your desk. By the way, there's no birds here. I hope they turn up soon. You get the picture. So we see people who seem to have it. We see people, the artists lost in their work, the business person obsessed with their mission, vision. And we think, oh, I need to find this thing. I need to find this thing we call passion. But what if that whole idea is actually kind of overrated? I am really sorry to burst that bubble. And I will explain in a minute why that is important. But what if the relentless pursuit of this single passion project, shall we call the finding of passion, is causing more stress and confusion than it's solving? So let's unpack that today for a bit, and then at the end we'll do a little bit of a practice in bringing it all together. So let's talk about why this advice of find your passion might be slightly misinterpreted, and maybe offer a different, more realistic and kinder way to think about work, interests, and your fulfillment. So, what is the issue with find your purpose? Maybe you also start to think about what is the issue, what could be the difficulties in addressing find your purpose. So first of all, there is this pressure, the pressure that implies there's something missing or something wrong with you if you haven't found it, especially. So you start looking around. Maybe you have a job that's fine, or interests that are just interesting, and you feel like you're failing because you haven't uncovered something amazing. You haven't uncovered this passion. And this can lead to serious anxiety and the feeling that, am I missing out? Am I doing life wrong? Sense of false positivity. Thank you, Heather. So that's one perspective. Second, it often frames passion as the thing you discover, like fully formed. You find a maybe hidden gem somewhere, gold. Like you just find gold and you see the gold. That's what we think of in terms of passion. We go around thinking, okay, when I find this, the whole world changes. And this is what we consider as like a fixed mindset. We talked about fixed mindset a lot, but the belief that the abilities and passions are fixed and innate. So if you believe passion is just found, you might give up on things too easily. If they don't feel like the right one, you might just try it and move on. You might try it, feel a bit difficult, get bored, and think, no, not my passion, and move on, constantly searching instead of deepening. A third aspect of find your passion narrative, which is kind of bewildering, is there are people who have varied interests and they thrive on variety, learning new skills and exploring different aspects of life. And they're called multipotentialites. And the pressure to find one feels totally difficult and limiting to them. It's like a choice you have to make between which hand do you like better, right hand, left hand, etc. So it's a kind of a difficult choice people have to go through. And we are all a multipotentialite in some way. We have many passions. We have many ideas, many interests, lots of things that are going on in ourselves. So it is important to understand these aspects. And the idea that we must first find our passion to be happy is also another inaccuracy. It kind of actually works the opposite way. If you are becoming a person who's often happy and in whatever their circumstance, accepting, kind, compassionate, and then that becomes something of your passion, or then that can translate into passion. So studies on job satisfaction often highlight things like autonomy, the control over your own work, competence, which is basically feeling good at what you do, and relatedness, connecting with other people, and impact, the feeling like your work matters. So in in jobs and situations like that, and being more strongly associated with fulfillment in job, the idea that we have to find first, then be able to be effective is not aligned. So where does this passion really come from? Is this thing you find, where does it come from? Now, there are many ways of thinking about it. One of the ways I feel very passionately is using the word passionately again, uh, is you starting to build your own skill at something. So it could be very trivial. It could be even something as mundane as making tea. Although making tea apparently is a big deal in a lot of people. So I'm not alienating anyone, I hope. But making tea is an example where you have passion for, you start to see the passion as you make more tea. So the idea is when you start to build this understanding and deep level of skill at something, so maybe even the way in which you swirl around the tea bag and like make the time you put it in in water. I mean, my tea making skills are not really up to scratch, but you know what I'm saying. So it's called the craftsperson mindset. So somebody who's involved in crafting can understand this and relatable. They started to do certain things, and then over time, as they built the mastery, they gained autonomy, then they gained respect, and then they saw their impact, and it became relatable, and then it became their passion. So this is the idea of the growth mindset, the idea that abilities and interests can be developed through effort and experience. So from this perspective, passion isn't found, I think it's cultivated. I think we can cultivate our own passions. So you get interested in something, you put in a little bit of quote unquote work. We'll get into work and play in a different topic, but you get better, or you start to improve, you start to understand it a bit more in depth, you start to see a little bit of results, you get more interested, and it just goes on from there. So these are the drivers of what they call as intrinsic motivators. So autonomy, which is like agency of your own work, competence. So you're starting to see like, okay, I can play around with this, I understand it a bit more. And relatedness. So when those needs are met in an activity, it feels engaging, it feels meaningful, and yes, passionate, even if it wasn't your dream from day one to be the best tea maker, you suddenly have a passion for it. And that's how I think passion forms in our life. And then there's the other aspect of once we get passionate about something, how do we ensure that we are mentally resilient, strong, in ways in which passion doesn't consume you? So that's a different topic, but that's the idea of passion. So what if we ditch this idea completely? So we talked about passion, we just say now we're going to ditch it. We're going to say, okay, this stressful hunt for one passion might be thought of in a different way. How about we look at it from cultivating a curiosity and creating a contribution? So instead of searching for a passion, maybe we could focus only on curiosity and contribution. So what does that mean? So ask yourself, what genuinely sparks your interest? Even a little bit. What questions do you find yourself asking? What topics do you enjoy learning? And even if they seem random or unproductive, quote unquote, just ask this question, what comes up? Curiosity is much lower pressure starting point. It's just a simple nudge. It's just asking about what is interesting for you. Thank you, Susan. Animal rescue, that's a wonderful, interesting topic, and you're curious about it. So instead of waiting for passion to make this work effortless, maybe we focus on building the skills. So what does it mean? What can we learn? What can we understand a bit more? Instead of just focusing on this is my passion, how can I be a bit more joyful around this? Developing a competence in anything can be really rewarding. So instead of asking, what's my passion? Maybe, yeah, we can ask a different question, which is, what problems do I care about? Or what do I want to change in myself or others or in the world? How can I contribute in a meaningful way? So focusing on the impact and contribution can lead to a deep sense of meaning and purpose. So that can be like passion. It feels like passion. And often I stumble in this area is embracing experimentation, trying things out, and I can be really critical about myself, and I will also acknowledge that we've done many of these daily practices, and when I look back at all of them, there has been similar formats all of the time, and it works. I think it helps people to orient easily, but also there's room for experimentation. Now, when I started this in the beginning, I needed something to do this practice daily, and that's where I felt like I needed some sort of structure or some sort of sameness, and started to become really clear on creating a framework so that I can just keep repeating a lot of these meditations which we discussed. So in order to just gain more understanding on how this works. And over time, I believe there is a lot more we can do as humans, and experimenting is one of the most beautiful things. So start to try new things. Even it feels really awkward. It might feel like you have no no skill right now, or you're doing completely messed up, you're messing everything up. It's fine. Just take that class, start this, start that WhatsApp group which you've been thinking about, start that Facebook group, start the conversations you want to have. Just start it. Just put it out there. First few times, maybe first few 100 times, you will not get any response. But you started it. You can always go back. So you can always change a little bit. You can even restart it again. So yeah, experimentation is something which I am also starting to embrace, and I think it's a wonderful way to feel competent, wonderful way to connect, and a wonderful way to engage in autonomy. So far we've talked a lot about purpose, passion, and we understand that passion in one thing is just overrated. I think it's important to understand that if you genuinely feel you have one clear driving passion, that's wonderful. Go for it. But for many of us, it's just not that simple. And that is completely and totally okay. You're not broken or lacking in anything if you don't have a singular mission in life that's lighting you up. You might have many missions, many things you are capable of. So don't just fix yourself on one. Maybe fulfillment comes from a combination of things: a job that uses your skills and provides stability, hobbies that genuinely engage your curiosity, relationships that offer connection, contributing in meaningful ways. Maybe those are all part of the puzzle. So let's take the pressure off. Let's shift the narrative from find your passion to what are you curious about? What are you building the skills on? What are you open for exploration and experimentation? What engages you and allows you to contribute in a meaningful way? Might seem slower, less dramatic than we might have expected, but it's more sustainable. And from experience, I've tried different things, and often sometimes you feel at a given time you feel more quote unquote passionate about one thing over another thing. So right now I'm into yoga, so I'm doing a little bit of yoga, but maybe in few months time that might not be my passion. So there's no pressure, but keeping things open, keep experimenting is a wonderful way to be ready for life. So that's the aspect which I wanted to cover today. So let's explore this shift from passion hunting to curiosity noticing. Let's take a little bit of a guided reflection together. So I invite you to start settling in, closing your eyes if that's convenient, it's comfortable. Take a couple of slow, easy breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Just allowing yourself to arrive right here, right now. Let go of any need to do anything for these few moments. Just be present. Find your stillness. Now I want you to gently bring to mind this idea we discussed of finding your passion. Immediately notice any feelings or thoughts that come up around that phrase. Maybe there is pressure, anxiety, confusion, maybe excitement, maybe frustrations. Where do you feel that pressure comes from? Society, family, yourself. Just acknowledge whatever that rises without judgment. How does this relentless search feel in your body? And just notice. There's no right or wrong way to feel about this. Spend a moment just observing the weight or expectation associated with needing to find your one thing. Okay, now let that go and gently move your attention and bring your mind back, maybe over the last week, the last month, or even further if you like. And can you recall any moments, however small, where you felt genuinely curious? Or moments you felt really engaged or absorbed in something? And this doesn't need to be grand or world changing. It could be reading an interesting article. It could be getting lost in a conversation. It could be figuring out a technical or tricky problem. It could be learning a new skill. Or it could be tinkering with something, watching a documentary. Even just notice something fascinating on a walk. What were you doing? What did it feel like in your body or mind? And don't filter based on whether it seemed important or passion worthy. Just scan for those little sparks of interest, engagement, and flow. Maybe one or two moments come to mind. Just hold them gently. What was engaging about it? Was it the challenge? Was it the learning? Was it the connection? Was it the novelty? And you don't need to find the answer. Let it come up within you. So as we bring this reflection to a gentle close, just hold those moments of curiosity or engagement lightly. See them not as the candidates for the passion, but simply as sparks of interest, sparks of aliveness. They show you what kinds of activities or topics naturally draw you in. The invitation going forward isn't to force these sparks into a bonfire of passion, but simply to notice them more often when they arise in your daily life. Maybe even gently follow one or two just to see where they lead. And take one more easy breath in and a slow breath out. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes or bring your awareness back to the space around you. And just noticing, how was that? Maybe you noticed something surprising. Remember, this is about shifting the focus from finding this one thing to curious observation. So thank you for being part of this daily practice with me, Nikhil. I hope this brought you some joy in some way. I hope I can find you again in the next session. Until then, take it easy. And yeah, find your passions. Take it easy. Thank you for being here.